That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
But the last business time is going to pivot us directly into our little segment here, because we're in the middle of a TV guidepost, Riri.
It's a little bit of a TV guidepost. That's right.
A little bit. So we are. How many episodes of this season?
This is 8. Well, wait. I mean, before we get there, come on. I know it's been a while, but
oh, sorry, I forgot.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again to visit TV Guideposts. This time around, we're going to a land which, must admit, I've tried 5 times to find out the name of and can't seem to locate the name of this land or of some of the central characters in it. But we're going to The Witcher, a Netflix original series based on a series of best-selling books and starring Superman.
Subsequent video game.
And its subsequent video game, yes. Don't know what that voice was, but we'll just go ahead and keep going with it. And so, oh my gosh, I'm feeling very confused by all of this. But we're glad that you're here, and we're glad that that we're entering back into TV Guideposts. So join us for the first 2 episodes of The Witcher. Thanks. Oh.
That was in the spirit of the show. I just got eviscerated,
You sure did, yeah.
Right when
Superman the Barbarian, he got his taste for blood and Zod, so he's just gonna go for it, and he's just gonna,
he's like, "You're dead." No.
Every 2 minutes, and then I told him, "You're dead."
There's gonna be a movie one time that we cover, and that's like the tagline. That's gonna be in it actually, and man, I'm gonna run wild with that.
so funny. So okay. This was maybe 4 years ago now at this point. I was at a work conference. Okay. Yeah, story time. No, I'm just kidding. So about 4 years ago, I was at maybe 5 now, but I was at a work conference, and it was one of those places where a lot of people, I was new to leadership at my job. I had just been promoted to supervisor, and there was this workshop that they wanted to do for both long-standing leaders and a few people who had just entered in to get together and have, basically a conference about leadership skills, studying personality types, navigating different situations and everything, just a kind of a 4-day long training. And the only context whatsoever that I had for The Witcher in any degree is the person in my group in one of like the last sections. He was from Poland, and he loved The Witcher. Like it was his favorite series of books, and he loved playing the video game. It was just like his thing. He was just captivated by the world, and he talked a lot about it. Again, that was like 4 or 5 years ago, and that was long before the Netflix series, was, maybe they were talking about it or developing it or whatever. But yeah, so that was my only context for this at all. I hadn't played the video game. I hadn't read any of the books. So I knew nothing going into this except, fantasy type world. And then also we should mention that this specific section of What Scares Us was recommended to us by listener Jacob Sane. We are not going to be playing his contribution because we'll save that for the actual like thematic conversation about The Witcher. But in TV Guidepost fashion, we're just going to talk about the first couple of episodes here. But yeah, I didn't know much. Did you have any knowledge other than just like, hey, a game exists, books exist about this, or did you know a little bit more going into it, or had you heard more?
Well, I must admit I am well versed in the lore of the Nilfgaardians, and no, I really didn't. So
Nilfgaardians, Leviosa. What? Sorry.
Wow.
No.
Leviosa. I did not know it was a book series. All I knew was video games. And so no, I knew nothing about the world of it. I knew nothing about any of it. I've watched 2 episodes now, and I'm not sure I know much more than I did before I started it.
I tell you, man, it does not try very hard. presumes that if you are watching it, you are either bought in for the homework or you have already done the homework.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That either that you're going to, because in other words, it does not try very hard to make these characters or even its structure accessible. Like, it took me a little bit of like extracurricular homework to figure out that they were jumping around in time. Like, that took me a little bit. That was not immediately apparent to me. I realized like by the second one that I was like, okay, wait a second. I think these are at different like places. Are these just interconnected little sequential stories? But like literally the first episode is split up to two stories, the Henry Cavill adventure and the young girl adventure, and they're happening 30 years apart from each other. They're not concurrent.
Is that clear in the episode?
I found it out extracurricularly, so maybe it's not clear.
Does that become clear in the second episode?
I don't think so.
Here's the thing, Reed. I'm a little worried. I was on like a mushroom trip or something watching these two episodes.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't know anything has happened. And
he's like, I saw some sword fighting. I saw one time somebody sang a song. And then there was some magic.
Perked me up. I was like, oh, this is a little...
a little
ditty about Jack and Diane.
Wow.
I did not. Okay, so I will be kind and generous here. I am choosing generosity because I am recognizing I'm coming in with nothing. And once now I'm not there yet, but after the 2 episodes, I was like, man, WTF. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't
know what to do.
I can't make heads or tails of this. I don't know what anybody is saying. It was.
I can't tell when if they're speaking Elvish or if they're dropping actual names.
Overwhelming. And then I started doing a little reading, just try to get some footing. It is funny. I will often report on the show how, let's take Under the Shadow or whatever. Movies I haven't seen, I will just jump in.
Yeah.
Feet first. No real care. Just I'll find my bearings. Sometimes that's a bad choice because I couldn't find my bearings. I mean, I was just drowning in jargon and foreign names. I mean, in the first episode, there's a scene where Henry Cavill's in some Scarlet Witch hex world with this wizard guy. And Reed, if you'd been playing a drinking game with the number of words they say that are non-familiar words, you'd have been laid out after that scene. I told my wife, I was like, this must have been what it was like for people who had no Tolkien knowledge and started Fellowship 20 years ago. They're like, what is this? So I am being jokey right now, also saying I am buckling up. I'm going to try to do my homework right now. 2 episodes in, I'm like, huh?
I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Well,
Snot or what? Let's go watch that. But I am choosing generosity because I want, like I like Cavill a lot. I think it's got the earmarks of stuff I would enjoy. It was just it was head spinning. I'll be real.
So I can appreciate that in many ways. So one thing that I'm presuming you didn't do that I think helped me a lot. You've teased me for this before, but I have a tendency to watch movies with subtitles, regardless of whether subtitles are needed.
I started to turn them on.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, yeah. I don't. Come on, man. I tease you when it's like doesn't make any sense why you would do that. It makes absolute sense why you would do that here. And yes, I got to a point. I'm like, huh? What? I don't know what you're saying.
Like, why are you
Superman?
Why are you talking about
speaking
this?
Kryptonian? So yeah,
I got coin for my Kikamura.
Mainly because I'm like, what? It was the word Blevican. I'm like, what are they? What is that? What are you saying?
It's in the town.
I know that now, but like in the moment, I'm like, yeah.
You just hear somebody saying, "Leave Blevican with your Kikamura before I."
Yeah. Siri and Charybdis and
Segabor. Segabor?
That was it. That was it. That was the word. I was like, huh? Sega.
Like,
Say goodbye?
Sega.
Sega what?
Oh my gosh. Well, and so the
Segabor. That's
what's
like
interesting.
that's like Exegol and Rise of Skywalker. It just like gets caught in your throat. Segabor.
Wow.
I love you, Jacob.
Well, and I'm very curious to see where the show goes because,
for sure.
like, for instance, I remember having this feeling, and for those who have not watched Westworld, like, anytime that a story plays around with time, post 2006 or 2004, whenever, they're going to say, oh, well, it's akin to Lost, or it's kind of comparable to Lost in some ways. And whereas, like, Westworld, did you ever watch any of Westworld?
Nope.
The HBO series? So though it didn't reveal it until like maybe late in the first season, if at all, is telling you storylines, and they're all set in the same world, but the storylines take place in vastly different times.
Sure.
And because a lot of these characters are robots, they have not aged, so they are there. You're dead. So, but the robots have not aged, so they're interacting with younger and older versions of the same people, and you don't realize that until later. And so,
not gonna watch it now.
Like, and man, as if
Boom.
It wasn't already hard enough.
Yeah.
You're dead. So, so
it's called Robocop, but really, what's the premise?
You're dead. So, but back to The Witcher.
Yeah.
So, when I picked up on, and then again, I wasn't smart enough to realize this on my own, but when I, went and did a little bit of reading about it and realizing, like, oh, okay, these are taking place at different time frames, and there's presumably, although I won't know this in full fruition until I reach, episode 5, 6, or whatever, until they start to converge. But presumably these plot lines are all sort of laying the groundwork, both for the world that they're in and the characters that they are. So what I know as of right now is Henry Cavill is like a mutated person who hunts monsters. That's what he does. And he's navigating this world most often for hire. That's his vocation, as well as sort of his life's purpose is to hunt down and kill monsters.
He has a name, Reed. What's his name?
Geralt. But
of?
Rivia?
There you go.
Oh, I didn't even look it up.
Look at you. You're
right there.
Wow. You're a Witcher.
Oh, you're dead. So, anyway, he wanders about and kills monsters. Simultaneous to this, there is a kingdom, Centra. Is that it? Centra?
Sure. Don't look it up. Just roll with it for now.
Just roll with Centra. But if it's wrong,
episodes. We'll catch ourselves between episodes.
Catch ourselves. Okay, so I think it's Centra, but but there's this kingdom that has fallen to these invading forces, and in the process of that, the king and queen, who were the grandparents, although they were still quite young.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah.
But the king and queen were the grandparents of this young child, and the king falls
What's her
in
name?
battle. Cyrilla,
I thought.
Cyrilla?
Yeah.
Cyrilla Cuthbert? No. So
Wow. That's an Anna Green Gables.
So but they call her something else.
Siri. Yeah, they call her Siri.
They call her Siri. Okay. So so she is obviously like heir to the throne, though it was not supposed to be this quickly upon them that she would be eminent to claiming the kingdom. And so
Centra. Yeah, you're right. Because she's the lion cub of Centra. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but the kingdom has fallen to the invading forces, and that is a name. It starts with an N, but I can't remember.
The Nilfgaardians. I already said that.
Nilfgaardians. Okay. Look,
come on. Keep up.
Listen. Listen. So, you choked on Sogabor.
Bingo.
I gave you that one.
Yeah.
So the plot lines are kind of revolving around the adventures of Geralt and Ciri as she's sort of escaped the invading forces with her life and has wandered into the woods. The end of the first episode, somebody, a character that I honestly thought was going to play a bigger role, but dies at the end of the first episode, Renfrey, prophesied, I guess you would call it, or like spoke to Geralt that his destiny was with the girl in the woods, which I have to presume is Ciri. And so what I don't know, because I'm only 2 episodes in, the plot line around the
Renfrey told Superman that
Renfrey told Superman that his destiny was with the girl in the woods.
Grandma tells Ciri, find Geralt.
Yes.
He is your destiny. Yeah.
Yes. So that's how the message got to Ciri. Renfrey said it to Geralt. And so
yeah, I was like, okay, the love interest or something. She's going to be a supporting player. Nope, you're dead.
That's going to be the surrogate tagline throughout this entire thing. Every time somebody stumbles. So, but I think, I don't know this because in my extra reading, I did not find out anything about like spoilers for future episodes. But what I presume, because the plot line feels terribly unresolved, is the half elf girl who has like the twisted spine, Yennefer, right. I think Yennefer. Is I presume that we will see more of that. I thought the Renfrey character was going to be like an ongoing sort of threaded plot line, and then it just sort of resolved. Of course, Segabor shows up in the second episode as like a, he's an influencer of that Istrid character that is so Segabor is hiring Istrid to spy on no, write this down. Segabor has
hold on, I got my chart. My chart right here.
So but I think Segabor has commissioned I think his name is Istrid. Oh my god, this is so intimidating.
Is Istrid the other magician guy that Yennefer encounters at the portal?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think
who is Segabor? Who is the old wizard in the first episode? Is that Segabor?
And you know what? I said Segabor. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. It's Stregobor. So different.
Stregonona.
Wow. Strego no more. My God, I'm trying to find the name
Jacob
of
is
that.
So pissed at us.
He's rolling with
kidding.
it.
I know.
Gosh, it is frustrating me that I cannot find the name of.
It's okay.
Of
just go
character.
with it.
Anyway, I think it's Istrid, but anyway. But Stregobor commissioned him to spy on Yennefer. Meanwhile, the witch who took her in
for 4 marks,
for 4 marks, she commissioned Yennefer to spy on Istrid. So there's a little bit of like gamesmanship happening there. Yes, cat and mouse, if you will, and that felt unresolved. So I have a feeling that we're going to see more of that plot line. Again, I thought Renfrey was going to be like this person, and she gets taken out at the end of the first episode. Wow.
Now, did I miss something? Because why did she say these TV guideposts are just going to be me? Like, now, why did this happen? Reed, will you explain why that happened?
Did this?
Who?
And us guessing.
I'm going to write the word and hold it up and ask you to pronounce it.
No.
She refers to herself as like a mutant or a
yeah. She was, and that's something that the show hasn't done.
But I got the impression it wasn't. Hold on. I'm
gonna need a minute.
Geralt as mutant was having been put upon him. I took it as just you are this half breed or some other thing. Like
I mean,
like mutants in Marveldom are born that way,
Well, and that's what I was about to say, is that the show hasn't really to my understanding, by episode 2
limited.
Amen. To my understanding, by episode 2, the show hasn't really established very much like the mutation component. Is it thrust upon you? Are you
doesn't matter
born with it? Wow.
I'm not being rude. I'm just like, does that matter to the nature of the show? I mean,
or is it that or is it just that they are mutated humans and therefore mutated beings, therefore gonna have some
born this way, baby.
Wow. So anyway, I will say this, because we've spent 15 minutes trying to sort of unpack the mechanics of it. I'll just say this. So I can see the comparisons to Game of Thrones. I can see them, from the first 10 minutes of the movie. Just the world itself, the general, not a movie, it's a TV show, but the tone of everything, the way that, like Game of Thrones it didn't put the cookies on the bottom shelf. It makes you work for the information that it's giving to you. And so, yeah, that I can see
That's
some
a
of those
tall
comparisons.
shelf.
This one.
That's a tall shelf. I'm like,
yes.
Oh.
But I mean, I got to imagine, and maybe this is something that Jacob can chime in on and kind of help us with. I got to imagine for fans of the video game and series,
well, sure,
it probably feels refreshing to just be like, oh, good, they didn't waste a lot of time like holding our hand on it. They just sort of thrust us into it.
Yeah.
And so Blaviken, yeah.
Blaviken.
But I am curious, like these early entries of TV Guideposts, as listeners will remember, is just skirting the superficial until we can wind up to the to the thematic conversation.
Clearly.
Wow.
I did watch a video after I'd watched the 2 episodes and was kind of trying to do a little bit of just screwing my head back on. I found a video of Cavill breaking down the fight scene from episode 1. It was a really cool video, actually. I don't know where I found it, but
that was a gruesome fight. I mean,
yeah, it is. Well, interestingly, so it's all one take. But he's talking about the blocking, the choreography, and his sword is a half instrument. Like it is only half of the sword, so that they could digitally put the rest of the blade in.
Oh, I see.
So the choreography could all be done with minimal fear of actual harm.
But there was fear of actual harm. Minimal, but no, but I mean, like what? You said it's half a blade. Oh, you mean it's just the hilt?
Well, no, it's not just the hilt. There's
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's any
a
version
broadsword, it's cut in half. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, it's big dudes beating the tar out of each other. And
because I'm telling you, man, like if Henry Cavill was coming, if Henry Cavill was coming at me, that's the thing is like if he was coming at me with that sword and he's like into
he's a good-looking man though.
I'll be like, oh my god, like he's about he's about to
Superman or you Geralt.
Oh my god. Well, both of them.
Either way, you might kill me.
That's right. Like that seems to be the common theme in Henry Cavill's work. But I'm just like, I'm just.
That was good.
But anyway,
you see him in Mission Impossible? That was good.
That was a good movie.
That was a
really good movie. Yeah, Henry Cavill doesn't get enough love.
I like him.
He's good. Yeah,
he gets a lot of love. That's
okay.
I mean, look at him. Look at the man. Damn.
How can you not love that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. He's a handsome
Women
guy.
want him. Men want to be him.
But yes, okay. So we will be continuing this journey, which will probably be some version of Reed and Nathan trying desperately to figure out exactly, what The Witcher is all about. But that brings us.
Can you outgo us with?
Well, I was just
song?
about to. With the song.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember the song. I saw the episode once.
Put a penny in your Witcher or whatever it's called.
Penny for the put a penny in your Witcher. What in the world did you just say to? Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another ridiculous episode of TV Guideposts.
Woo.
Pennies and Witchers and Balaclavians of Stregobor.
And wow. Making me hungry.
Tune in next time. Tune in next time. Tune in next time for TV Guideposts. Do it.
Episode. Are we doing 3 and 4 next? I don't know.
3 and 4 next time.
We may need to just take them one at a time because, brother. I mean,
this is intense. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So, yes,
I don't know.
3
At
and
the
4.
end of all of this, I will be like a Witcher fan. I don't know, but this is a hell of a lot of fun. So thank you, Jacob.
It's a
for
blast.
your submission.
Yes. Absolutely.